Happy Frugal Friday, friends. If you're watching this video real time, it is Black Friday. But if it's not Black Friday when you're watching this, don't worry. This concept is going to change your life on any day. But since it's Black Friday, I just really wanted to share this story with you because it relates to the idea of budgeting, frugal living, and saving money in regards to when is enough enough. I think about this story all the time, and I wanted to share it with you today. Let's kind of enter it into the K-Squad curriculum so that we are reminded of this story when we are feeling like possibly we don't have enough. When is enough enough? All right, bear with me for just 2 minutes because I've got to share this story. I promise there's a point. It's called The Fisherman and the Businessman. There was once a businessman who was sitting by the beach in a small Brazilian village. As he sat, he saw a Brazilian fisherman rowing a small boat toward the shore, having caught quite a few big fish. The businessman was impressed and asked the fisherman, "How long does it take you to catch so many fish?" The fisherman replied, "Oh, just a short while." "Then why don't you stay longer at sea and catch even more?" The businessman was astonished. "This is enough to feed my whole family," the fisherman said. The businessman then asked, "So what do you do with the rest of your day?" The fisherman replied, "Well, I usually wake up early in the morning, go out to sea and catch a few fish, then go back and play with my kids. In the afternoon, I take a nap with my wife, and evening comes, I join my buddies in the village for a drink. We play guitar, sing, and dance throughout the night." The businessman offered a suggestion to the fisherman. "I am a PhD in business management. I could help you to become a more successful person. From now on, you should spend more time at sea and try to catch as many fish as possible. When you have saved enough money, you could buy a bigger boat and catch even more fish. Soon you'll be able to afford to buy more boats, set up your own company, your own production plant for canned food and distribution network. By then, you will have moved out of this village and to Sao Paulo, where you can set up HQ quarter to manage your other branches." The fisherman continues, "And after that?" The businessman laughs heartily. "After that, you can live like a king in your own house. And when the time is right, you can go public and float your shares in the stock exchange, and you will be rich." The fisherman asks, "And after that?" The businessman says, "After that, you can finally retire. You can move to a house by the fishing village, wake up early in the morning, catch a few fish, then return home to play with kids, have a nice afternoon nap with your wife. And when evening comes, you can join your buddies for a drink, play the guitar, and sing and dance throughout the night." The fisherman was puzzled. "Isn't that what I'm doing now?" You guys, I struggle with this all the time. This idea of, should I be doing a lot more? And I just think this story is a perfect illustration of some core lessons. Okay, the first one being, don't assume more money necessarily equals happiness. This guy was so happy just as he was. He was doing everything he wanted to do. He was still doing some work, but he was getting to spend time with his kids when they were young and napping with his wife and having fun with his friends. Like, he was really living a happy life just as he was. And I feel like these days especially, we feel so much pressure to make more of ourselves, do more, do more, do more. I feel that often. I have this wonderful channel. Should I be doing so much more? I have choreography skills. Should I be doing so much more in dance? My regular job, could I be doing more? There's just always that question of, when is enough enough, right? So Another core lesson of this is a simple life aligned with your values can be more fulfilling than endless striving. And I have to keep telling myself this. You guys know, if you've been with me for a bit, over the last couple years, I've been striving and running myself into the ground. I changed that finally the second half of this year, which has been life-changing. I'm enjoying my life a lot more. But what about you guys? Where are you at? Are you feeling like you constantly need more? When is enough enough? Is it enough to pay your bills? And I know right now that's even a struggle as it is. Like, I almost feel like this fisherman is like rich, just having everything he needs, right? Let me know, where are you at? Do you feel that struggle that I do, that I just feel like it's never enough, even though I know I have more than enough? Here's another thought. Be mindful of the difference between making a living and making a life. We can make a living with our jobs, and many of us these days, you guys share this with me all the time, have more than one, like myself. And when is it that you are enjoying the life, and when is it that you are overdoing it? I'm so interested in your thoughts. Today, I'm hoping for a discussion. I hope that the comments are filled with thoughts on this, because I struggle with it too. All right, another concept. Appreciate what you already have instead of postponing happiness. How many of us do this all the time? I'll be happy when, if only this, then I can. When this happens, then. We can never just be content with where we're at right now. This story reminds me of back when I was living in Florida, and there was a time where I wasn't making a ton of money, and I was floating around in the pool one day, and my friend and I just floating around in the pool, and I didn't have to work that day. And I felt so guilty that I wasn't working, but at the same time, I was like, gosh, this is so great. We're just floating around in our floats. And I said, I wish I had $1 million so I could do this, And my friend looked at me from his float and he goes, and I'm like, what? And he's like, why do you need $1 million? You're doing it. And what I meant was, if I had $1 million, I wouldn't feel guilty about sitting here doing this. But you know what? Even then, right? Would I still be like, that's not enough? You guys know I've come a long way just in my frugal journey, minimalism, and coming into the idea of focusing on what my priorities are and letting go of the rest, right? The Kate method. Keep focus, adjust, track, and eliminate. And I just wonder how many of us actually have everything we need just as we are, but we just keep mind tricking ourselves that that's not the norm. So we need to do more. Please weigh in on that. I'm so interested. There's another thing I want to tell you that I fight with. It's another concept that I fight with because growing up, right, in my 8th grade classroom, for example, in my 8th grade classroom, this quote is forever ingrained, in my brain. And that is, the quote was, good enough is seldom good and rarely enough. So to this day, when someone is doing something and they're like, good enough, I cringe. I actually cringe because I'm like, is it? Or are you just saying that so that you can be done with it? Like, is good enough really good enough? I think that it's like a threat to not be complacent, that quote. They don't want you to be complacent in your decisions and where you're at in your life. It's telling you, don't settle, which I believe don't settle when you can have something that serves you better, right? I feel like this is an inner battle that I struggle with, because if you could do better and you're choosing not to, is that okay? You know what I mean? I was watching this YouTube video the other day, and it was a short, and the woman was saying, one of the creators was saying, she's not making any goals for 2026. And part of my brain went, oh, that feels so good. That feels so good to think she's just gonna like live and let go and like just see how it goes. And part of my brain was like, that's amazing. Like that's amazing. Like to just live and just live in the moment, try to be present and not be like striving. But the other half of my brain was like, a new year with no goals? What? Like half of my brain can't take it because I love setting goals. So the answer with all of this is, I think we have to find a happy medium, okay? Money isn't everything, but it is a tool that gets you where you need to go in many cases, right? And I think in the end, quality matters. And I'll tell you where I think it matters the most. Quality matters when it comes to your safety. Quality matters when it comes to your finances. Quality matters when it comes to your health. Quality matters when it comes to meaningful relationships. And I don't necessarily mean romantic relationships. I mean your family. I mean your best friend, your neighbors, the ones that you look out for and they look out for you. I think that's where you kind of go hard in the paint. You know what I mean? I always say go hard in the paint on the things that matter and try to greatly reduce or eliminate the rest. So I am not encouraging you to settle, because when you settle, that lowers possibly your quality of life. But I am going to encourage you to continue as a member of this community to simplify. Because when you simplify, it actually frees your life up in the areas, hopefully, that you want to be free. Because freedom is the whole point of frugal living in my mind, always, right? And if you're a member of this channel and you strive to live a frugal life, you want to focus on what is quality. You want to use your resources, your time, your money, your energy on the things that matter and greatly reduce the rest. That's going to free you. And freedom, to me, means everything. I'm so interested in your thoughts on this topic. I think that the more we talk about things like this, the more we will come into our own and be ourselves and be happy with what we choose to do with our lives. You guys know I'm never going to come on here and be like, you should do this and you should do that. It's not my style. I want you to live the life that you want. Would you agree that true wealth is having enough? But I guess you have to define what enough is. Think about that. Think about that for this coming year. I love, as the year is coming to a close, thinking about what I can do better next year, or how I want to operate a little bit better so that I can be more free, I can be myself, I can be less stressed. Please let me know in the comments your thoughts on everything that we just talked about. I'm so interested. When is enough enough? And how do you manage that? How do you deal with that? And is there ever a time where you draw the line and you're like, well, this is it. There's the line. I'm not going over it. Let me know in the comments. I wish you guys an amazing, amazing weekend. I hope that when you are feeling like you have to just go, that you remember this story and you remember that sometimes it's going to get you the same result, but you don't have to do all this stuff and you don't have to feel all this pressure. Sometimes you do have to make some choices. You have to work a little harder. Like I always tell you, I like doing things in spurts, right? Effort means a lot, but just be thinking about how you can improve your life each week, each month, each year toward the person you want to be the most. All right. I appreciate you guys. If you have not hit subscribe yet, hit it now so you never miss a video. Some of my videos are tips and tricks, and some are life lessons that I think are worth discussing. And I hope this one helped you today. Thank you for being here. See you in the next video. Bye, guys.